Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. Our presentation is titled, Understanding Our Criminal Justice System. Today, we'll explore the key components of how our justice system works, from law enforcement to courts and corrections. We'll also look at the challenges and opportunities within the system. So, let's get started and gain a better understanding of this important topic. Let's take a look at the contents of this presentation. We have several key sections that guide us through understanding the criminal justice system. First, there's the introduction, which sets the stage. Then, we move into detailed guidelines like the DK Basu guidelines, which are essential for ensuring police conduct is fair and respectful of human rights. These guidelines are continued in later slides to emphasize their importance. Next, we explore the First Information Report, or FIR, which is a crucial document in initiating an investigation. Understanding how the FIR is formed and its significance helps us see the importance of transparency and proper procedure. We also examine the role of the police when investigating a crime, highlighting their responsibilities and limits. Alongside that, the role of the public prosecutor is discussed, emphasizing their part in ensuring justice is served fairly. The concept of a fair trial is a recurring theme, and we'll delve into what that entails, including key principles that safeguard the rights of the accused. The judge's role is also explored, as they oversee the process and ensure justice is upheld. Additionally, there's a glossary to clarify important terms, making the complex legal language more understandable. Finally, we'll have a question and answer segment, followed by a thank you to conclude. Overall, this slide provides a roadmap of the presentation, connecting each topic to the broader theme of justice, fairness, and human rights in the legal process. When we see someone violating the law, our first instinct is often to inform the police. You've probably seen this in real life or maybe in movies, where police officers are filing reports and making arrests. Because of the role they play in these actions, many people think that the police are the ones deciding whether a person is guilty or not. But that's actually not the case. After someone is arrested, it's the court of law that makes the final decision about guilt or innocence. This is a really important point to understand, especially when we're talking about justice and fairness. According to the Constitution, everyone charged with a crime must be given a fair trial, which is a fundamental right. Now, in the criminal justice system, there are 4 key players: the police, the public prosecutor, the defense lawyer, and the judge. You've already seen how each of them plays a role in the example we discussed earlier. But today, I want to help you understand their roles more clearly, in a broader sense, so you have a better grasp of how justice is actually served. Now, let's talk about the role of the police in investigating a crime. One of their main functions is to look into complaints about criminal activities. This involves recording statements from witnesses, which helps gather first-hand accounts, and collecting various types of evidence that can support the case. Based on this investigation, the police form an opinion about whether the accused is likely guilty or not. If they believe the evidence points to guilt, they then file a charge sheet in court to formally initiate legal proceedings. It's important to remember that police investigations must always be conducted within the boundaries of the law and with full respect for human rights. The Supreme Court has set clear guidelines to ensure that during arrest, detention, and interrogation, the rights of individuals are protected. Police are strictly prohibited from torturing, beating, or shooting anyone during their investigation. This highlights the balance that must be maintained. While investigating crimes effectively, police also have a duty to uphold justice and human dignity. This is fundamental to maintaining public trust and ensuring a fair legal process. On this slide, we're discussing fundamental rights related to arrest and detention. It's crucial to understand that no one can be punished for petty offenses, and these protections are enshrined in Article 22 of the Constitution, along with criminal law. First, individuals who are arrested must be informed of the specific offense for which they are being detained. This right ensures transparency and helps prevent arbitrary arrests. Second, within 24 hours of arrest, the person must be presented before a magistrate. This process acts as a safeguard against unlawful detention, ensuring judicial oversight. Third, and very importantly, every arrested person has the right not to be ill-treated or tortured during arrest or while in custody. This principle underpins the dignity of every individual and is fundamental to a fair justice system. These rights collectively reinforce the idea that even in situations of arrest, a person's dignity and legal protections must be upheld. This is key to maintaining a just and equitable society, consistent with the broader theme of safeguarding individual freedoms. Now, let's move on to the DK Basu Guidelines. The Supreme Court of India has established these important requirements and procedures that law enforcement agencies must follow during arrest, detention, and interrogation. The goal here is to ensure that the rights of individuals are protected and that due process is followed at every step. Some of the key points include the necessity for police to inform the person about the reasons for arrest immediately. They must also inform them of their right to legal counsel and provide them with a copy of the arrest memo. Additionally, police are required to produce the arrested person before a magistrate within 24 hours, without unnecessary delay. These guidelines also emphasize the importance of maintaining proper records of detention and interrogation, and they prohibit the use of degree methods or torture. Overall, these standards are designed to uphold human rights and prevent abuse of authority, aligning with the broader theme of ensuring justice and fairness in law enforcement practices. Now, moving on to the next part of the DK Basu Guidelines, let's discuss some important points about identification and documentation during arrests. First, it's crucial that police officials who carry out arrests or conduct interrogations wear clear and visible identification tags. These tags should accurately display their names and designations. This helps maintain transparency and accountability throughout the process. Additionally, a memo of arrest must be prepared right at the time of arrest. This memo should include essential details, such as the exact time and date of the arrest. Keeping this record not only ensures proper documentation, but also protects both the officer and the person being arrested. Overall, these guidelines emphasize the importance of clear identification and thorough record-keeping to uphold the integrity of law enforcement procedures. This connects directly to our theme of ensuring fair and transparent policing practices. Now, moving on to the next part of the DK Basu Guidelines, specifically point 2.4, and continuing from there. It's important to note that any arrest must be attested by at least one witness, which could include a family member of the person being arrested. This helps ensure transparency and accountability during the arrest process. Additionally, the arrest memo itself should be countersigned by the person arrested, serving as a confirmation that they acknowledge the details recorded. Another crucial point is that the person who is arrested, detained, or subjected to interrogation has a right to inform a relative, a friend, or a well-wisher about their situation. And if that friend or relative happens to live outside the district, then the police are required to notify them about the arrest, including details like the time, place of arrest, and the location of custody, within 8 to 12 hours after the arrest. These guidelines are designed to protect the rights of individuals and ensure that law enforcement procedures are transparent, which ultimately supports the broader theme of safeguarding human rights and maintaining public trust. Now, let's talk about the First Information Report, or FIR. This is a crucial step because it marks the official start of police investigations into a crime. The law makes it clear that whenever someone reports a cognizable offense, the police officer in charge of the station must register an FIR. This means it's not optional, it's a legal requirement. People can give this information either verbally or in writing, whichever is more convenient for them. The FIR itself typically includes important details such as the date, time, and location of the offense. It also outlines the basic facts of what happened, giving a clear picture of the incident. If the person reporting knows the identity of the accused or witnesses, that information is included as well. This helps the police in their investigation and ensures transparency and accuracy from the very beginning. Understanding the FIR is essential because it serves as the foundation for the entire investigation process. It officially records the complaint and ensures that the case is taken seriously and handled properly. Now, moving on to the next part of the FIR, it also includes the name and address of the complainant. This is important because it helps establish who is making the report and where they can be reached if necessary. The FIR itself is recorded using a prescribed form that the police are required to follow. This form ensures consistency and completeness in recording the details. Once the FIR is filled out, it is signed by the complainant, which serves as their acknowledgement and verification of the information provided. An important legal right of the complainant is that they can request a free copy of the FIR from the police. This transparency is vital because it allows the complainant to have a record of what was reported and ensures accountability in the process. Connecting this to the overall theme, understanding these details about the FIR process helps us appreciate the legal protections and rights individuals have when they seek justice. It reinforces the importance of proper documentation and transparency in law enforcement. Let's take a closer look at the First Information Report, or FIR, form. This is a crucial document in the reporting process. When someone reports a crime, the FIR is the official record of that initial complaint. It captures the essential details of the incident, such as what happened, when, where, and who is involved. It's important because it sets the stage for the investigation to follow. The FIR serves as the foundation for legal action, so accuracy and thoroughness are key when filling it out. It also helps ensure that the complaint is taken seriously and that the case is properly documented from the start. Remember, the FIR is not just about recording facts. It's about establishing the beginning of a formal process to seek justice. By understanding how to correctly fill out and handle the FIR form, we reinforce the integrity of the entire criminal justice process. This step is vital in connecting the initial complaint to subsequent investigations and legal proceedings. Now, let's talk about the role of the public prosecutor. Essentially, the prosecutor represents the interests of the state throughout the legal process. Their role begins after the police have completed their investigation and filed the charge sheet in court. It's important to note that the prosecutor doesn't get involved in the investigation itself. Their job starts once the case moves to court. The main responsibility of the prosecutor is to conduct the prosecution on behalf of the state. As an officer of the court, they must act impartially, ensuring that they present all relevant facts, witnesses, and evidence honestly and fully. This impartiality is crucial because it allows the court to make a fair and informed decision. So, in summary, the public prosecutor's role is to ensure justice by properly prosecuting cases, maintaining objectivity, and presenting the full picture to the court. This helps uphold the integrity of the judicial process and ensures that justice is served for the society as a whole. Now, let's talk about the role of the judge. Think of the judge like an umpire in a game. Their job is to ensure everything is fair and played by the rules. They conduct the trial impartially, which means they don't take sides, and they do this in an open court so everyone can see how the process works. The judge listens carefully to all the witnesses and examines any other evidence brought forward by both the prosecution and the defense. This is a key part of their role because they need to understand all the facts before making a decision. Based on the evidence, the judge decides whether the accused person is guilty or innocent. This decision must always follow the law, ensuring fairness and justice. If the judge finds the person guilty, then they move on to pronounce the sentence. That could mean sending the person to jail, imposing a fine, or sometimes both, depending on what the law says. So, in essence, the judge is the final authority in the courtroom, making sure justice is done fairly and according to the rules we've discussed in this presentation. Now, let's talk about what a fair trial really means. According to Article 21 of our Constitution, which guarantees the right to life, a person's life or liberty can only be taken away through a reasonable and just legal procedure. This means that any deprivation of life or freedom must follow the rule of law and be based on fairness. A fair trial is essential because it ensures that this constitutional guarantee is upheld. It acts as a safeguard to make sure justice is done, protecting individuals from wrongful actions or punishments. Throughout this presentation, we've seen how vital the rule of law is in maintaining justice and protecting our rights. A fair trial is a cornerstone of that system, ensuring everyone's rights are respected and upheld. Now, let's look at what happens during a fair trial, continuing from where we left off. First, Shanti was given a copy of the charge sheet along with all the other evidence that the prosecution presented against her. This is important because it ensures she knows exactly what she's being accused of and can prepare her defense. She was charged with theft, which is a specific crime defined clearly by law. The trial itself took place in an open court, meaning it was in public view, allowing transparency in the justice process. Her brother, Sushil, was allowed to attend the court hearings, which shows that family members can be present during the trial. Throughout the process, Shanti was present in the court, ensuring her rights to be there and participate. She was represented by a lawyer, Advocate Roy, who had the opportunity to cross-examine all the prosecution witnesses. This cross-examination is a vital part of ensuring that the evidence is thoroughly tested and that her defense can challenge any inconsistencies. All these elements, access to evidence, public proceedings, legal representation, and the opportunity to challenge witnesses, are fundamental to ensuring that the trial is fair and just. They connect to our overall theme. A fair trial is about transparency, fairness, and protecting the rights of the accused. Now, let's look at an example involving Advocate Roy. He was given the chance to present witnesses in Shanti's defense, which is a crucial part of ensuring a fair trial. Even though the police had filed a case of theft against Shanti, the judge didn't jump to conclusions. Instead, the judge assumed she was innocent until proven guilty. This is a fundamental principle of a fair trial, the idea that the burden of proof lies with the prosecution. It's their responsibility to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Shanti is guilty. And in this case, they failed to do so. This example highlights how the justice system aims to be fair by giving the accused a chance to defend themselves and by requiring proof before condemning someone. It connects to our overall theme of fairness and the importance of protecting individual rights within the legal process. Now, let's look at what makes a trial truly fair. It's crucial that the judge's decision is based solely on the evidence presented in court. The judge doesn't jump to conclusions or let personal biases influence the outcome. For example, in Shanti's case, she was accused of theft, but the judge didn't assume she was guilty just because she was a poor maidservant. Instead, he carefully listened to the evidence. And what did the evidence show? That some young men, not Shanti, were responsible for the theft. Because of this impartial approach, the judge set Shanti free. This is a perfect example of justice being properly served. She received a fair trial, and her innocence was recognized. The key takeaway here is that a fair trial ensures justice by focusing only on the facts and evidence, not on stereotypes or assumptions. And, as we see throughout this presentation, fairness and impartiality are the cornerstones of a just legal process. Let's go through some key terms to help us better understand the legal process. First, accused refers to the person who is on trial in court for a crime. This is the individual facing charges and who needs to be proven guilty or innocent. Next, cross-examine is a crucial part of the trial. It means questioning a witness who has already testified, with the goal of testing their credibility and uncovering any inconsistencies in their story. Then, we have cognizable offenses. These are serious crimes for which the police have the authority to arrest someone without needing prior approval from a court. It's an important term because it highlights the powers and responsibilities of law enforcement. Lastly, detention refers to the act of keeping someone in custody, but it's specifically used here to describe illegal detention, which is holding someone without proper legal authority. Together, these terms connect to the overall theme of understanding how the legal system functions, especially regarding the rights of individuals and the roles of different parties within the justice process. All right, let's go over some more important terms from our glossary. First, we have impartial. This simply means being fair and just, not favoring one side over another. It's a key principle in the justice system because fairness is what ensures trust and integrity in legal processes. Next, there's offense. This refers to any act that the law defines as a crime. When someone is charged with a crime, the trial judge must inform the accused in writing about the specific offense they are facing. This step is crucial because it clearly states what the person is accused of and helps ensure the process is transparent. Finally, we have witness. In the context of this chapter, a witness is someone called to court to give a first-hand account of what they have seen, heard, or know about a case. Their testimony can be vital in establishing facts and helping the court reach a fair decision. Connecting these terms to our overall theme, understanding impartiality, offenses, and witnesses helps us appreciate how the justice system aims to be fair, transparent, and thorough in seeking the truth. Questions? Any questions, please? I want to make sure everything is clear and that you've had a chance to ask about anything we've covered today. Remember, no question is too small or too big. This is your opportunity to clarify any points or dive a little deeper into topics you're curious about. Throughout this presentation, we've discussed key concepts that are essential for understanding the overall theme. So, if anything isn't clear or if you want to explore how these ideas might apply to your own work, now's the time. I'm here to help, so please feel free to ask. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to your questions.